Je me présente, Philippe Schneider, je suis responsable de la logistique pour les deux sites, pour le groupement des mousquetaires en Belgique. L'introduction. Je pense que l'introduction, je vais surtout vous expliquer pourquoi on a choisi de travailler avec Streamliner il y a quelques mois et qu'on est en phase de déploiement. Grosso modo, il faut savoir que notre groupe, sur les 4 dernières années, on vient de faire une évolution de chiffres relativement très importante. Donc, ça se traduit par des colis et du volume en supplément sur nos deux sites. Jusqu'en 2019, on avait la base uniquement de Villers-le-Bouillet. Et depuis 2019, on a ouvert une succursale dans un second site de 12 000 m² sur Trasny. Trasny, aujourd'hui, gère le volume de l'épicerie salée sucrée. Et on est arrivé aujourd'hui à un stade où la gestion de nos réceptions, qui auparavant, avec 60% de volume en moins, ben, il faut reconnaître ce qui est, était géré, attention à ce que je vais dire, mais en bon père de famille, parce qu'on avait de la surface et de la capacité de réception qui nous permettait d'être un petit peu flexible avec nos fournisseurs, et on s'est aperçu depuis 4 ans que ben, ce système-là ne pouvait plus fonctionner simplement parce que les capacités de réception étaient restées identiques, mais le volume était bien plus important. Donc, sans citer de nom, on a approché 2-3 prestataires dans le domaine de la gestion de réception, comme le fait Streamliner. On a échangé pas mal via un cahier de charge et on s'est rendu compte que ça ne correspondait pas exactement à ce qu'on cherchait, parce que trop cher pour certains, parce que trop compliqué pour d'autres. Enfin voilà, on a pas mal cherché. Et puis on a rencontré donc Streamliner, et qui finalement ben, aujourd'hui nous propose un outil en fait qui est simple. Et c'est ce qu'on voulait au départ, c'est quelque chose de simple, quelque chose qui soit simple et pour nous et pour nos fournisseurs. Et aujourd'hui, je pense qu'on a trouvé ce qu'on cherchait. Que dire de plus? C'est qu'aujourd'hui, on a déployé depuis le 15 novembre. De tête, je pense qu'on est à 200 fournisseurs enregistrés via Streamliner, que ça se passe excessivement bien. Et que le but, c'est quoi aujourd'hui? Ben, de gagner du temps, nous, en réception, en évitant les pics de réception à certains moments de la journée et relativement calme sur d'autres moments. Et du coup, ben, nous, quand on a un pic en réception, ben, ce sont vos camions ou vos transporteurs qui restent sur notre parking. Et au lieu de rester 1 heure, parce qu'en moyenne, on estime, quand le moment où vous arrivez sur le parking et le moment où vous devez être sorti, on a 60 minutes. Ben, on s'est retrouvé à un moment donné en 2020 avec des pics de 2, 3, voire 4 heures d'attente sur le parking, et c'était juste inacceptable pour tout le monde. Donc aujourd'hui, ce que je peux dire, parce que maintenant on a un tout petit peu de recul, on a 1 mois d'historique sur Streamliner, c'est qu'aujourd'hui, les fournisseurs qui s'enregistrent via Streamliner n'attendent pas chez nous. On a des stats, on est dans l'heure prévue. Et aujourd'hui, je pense que sur le parking, je ne sais pas qui a ses propres chauffeurs, qui ne les a pas, mais je pense que pour les fournisseurs qui ont leurs propres chauffeurs, vous allez tout doucement vous rendre compte que les chauffeurs non Streamliner ont tendance à rester un peu plus longtemps en attente sur notre parking qu'un Streamliner. Donc aujourd'hui, ça fonctionne très bien, c'est une réussite. Je dis que c'est une réussite, pourquoi? Parce que généralement, quand on lance un nouveau produit, un nouveau logiciel, on a un temps d'adaptation, c'est comme ça, l'humain n'aime pas le changement. Oui, ici, ça s'est fait de manière très simple, et donc aujourd'hui, moi, je vous encourage à bien écouter ce que Chris va vous expliquer, parce qu'il y a réellement un win-win pour tous. Voilà. Chris, je te laisse la parole, c'est les questions. Moi, je suis avec vous jusqu'à 10h30.
Bonjour, merci pour cette belle introduction. Je vais maintenant passer en anglais. So I will continue in English. If afterwards anybody has questions, feel free to ask them in your language, be it French, English, Dutch. We'll try on German with Olivier. We can also do Spanish, but I'll do the rest of the speech in English as requested. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to give you a demonstration. And demonstration is going to be in 2 parts. I'm first going to start with showing you how Streamliner works on a day-to-day basis. Using two suppliers for that demonstration, I've used Mondelez, Lotus, and NetCargo. And once you went through that, let's say, first demonstration, I will go into a second phase, which is the one-time setup, because you'll have to do a one-time setup, which is more or less half an hour work. And I will take you through afterwards. You will see that we will make we are making a video recording of this session. That video recording will be posted on the YouTube channel. So if afterwards you don't fully remember what we discussed during this hour, you will be able to refer back to. You'll be able to refer back to this video, and also there are also, let's say, procedures available. I will show you during the demo where you can find what we call our support line to get stuck. But let's all start. I will take my screen and I will start showing you the day-to-day life of delivering at Intermarché via Streamliner. So let me share my screen. Is everybody seeing my screen? Little thumbs up. Okay, good. So how does it work? Streamliner is a tool, as we call it technically, it's a SaaS solution, meaning the only thing you need is a computer and an internet connection, and you will receive a login from Intermarché, which is not. I'm using the demo now. But in the invitation, you've received the login. So what you should put in your favorites on your tool is, I'll do the production demo, is app.streamliner.cloud. So this is the one you see here on top of my screen, app.streamliner.cloud. This is the login you need to put on your favorites, because that's the way you are going to get to the Streamliner screen. Note it all down and add it to your favorites. The remainder of the session, I will do it in demo, because of course I'm not going to work in the real life. You will see that you will have a login. Login consists of important detail. It's an email address and a personal password. However, in Streamliner, and we know that we got some questions, in Streamliner, our email address is what we call case sensitive, meaning how do you call it, like capital letters and small letters. It does make a difference. So please be aware when you create your login on Streamliner, how did you write your email address? If you're using all small letters, don't start logging in with a capital letter, because Streamliner will not recognize you. So Streamliner knows you through two combination of your email address and private password, but the email address is case sensitive. Very important to share, because we do get sometimes support calls where people are saying, I can no longer log in, because actually they are using a capital letter in the thing. I'm now going to start with logging in. It's all in demo. In real life, of course, it's going to be as a supplier. And the first supplier I'm going to use is Mondelez. I don't know if Mondelez is in the call. If they are in the call, my apologies for using you as a demo, but assuming you are a supplier of Intermarché. You will enter into Streamliner and you will come to the first screen, which is what we call the Intermarché community. If you are also a supplier to other retailers, today, for example, Macro, you will actually see here a second little block. This is what we call a Streamliner community. This is where you're going to be managing your orders and booking slots to deliver your orders to Intermarché. You click on it and you enter into the Intermarché community. This here is where Intermarché will be able to share with you general information. It's information from what we call Intermarché to all the suppliers. Can be changes at the roundabout in front of the warehouse. We are closed earlier for Christmas. Whatever information they feel they want to share with you, suppliers, on the platform. If there are documents attached to it, you will always be able to find those documents back into files. And files is what we call the directory with all the latest procedures. Logistics contracts, agreements, new safety procedure for whatever the latest COVID element, you will be able to see that. The operation, the slot booking, is happening in the what we call the Streamliner plugin here, the yellow thing. Very important to note is that below you will see the dashboards. Because Streamliner will, on a real-time basis, measure the performance, the on-time delivery of you and the transporters you use. So you will be able to see how well your trucks are on time, how much they are too late, how much they are too early. It's all real time. And on top, you will see that if at receptions there are issues, broken pallets, other things, all this is measured. So you'll have a real-time performance of yourself the way Intermarché sees you. You will be able also to see how your carrier is performing. So I think it's a very powerful way. We always urge, in the beginning, of course, it's going to be empty, let it run a few weeks. But after that, do discuss with your carrier. If you see it's always late or is always early, take the time to share this because your carrier will also see his own performance. So it is really, I think, a very powerful tool to improve your service towards Streamliner, towards Intermarché. Let's now go into Streamliner. You click here, and here you will see what we call the dashboard. It's your open order file. You see here 4 elements: order, dashboard, orders, package, shipment. 4 concepts which are very important. Orders is your purchase order. In here, there's an automatic interface. Any order you have received from Intermarché, you will find here. It's an overview. Very important to match. The detail, it doesn't contain the details. The details are in the EDI message which you receive from Intermarché. These are just the order headings. These are the orders which Intermarché is expecting from you. 4 statuses. The first green block is order has been sent. So you should have it in your ERP system. Again, if you've got an order in your ERP system which you don't find in Streamliner or vice versa, you should contact Intermarché because that means that there's a synchronization. The second block is what in our jargon is called packed, but that means that you have given your transportation company the mission to go and deliver the order. That's packed. It's very important because why do we use this? Because if, of course, you have to deliver tomorrow and you haven't packed it yet, there's a high risk you're not going to come tomorrow. So it's a way to track the order. The third block is your transportation company has made a rendezvous, has reserved a slot to go and deliver. So you can also track it is doing that. And the fourth block is it has been delivered and processed. Important to know, Streamliner is fully real time. So whenever somebody does something, you can actually see it. So it's a real-time connection of your order. Let's now take a simple life. I am here a user of Mondelez, and I see my 2 orders of the 20th of December, which I have to deliver. Here you see a little block. This is the volume. The order, actually, the way it is defined at Intermarché is the number of articles. Because you know that in Intermarché, every article has to be delivered on a different pallet. So though the pallets can be stacked into what we call a sandwich, every order line is a pallet, every article. So we are going to say this is an order of, in this case, 10 articles and 5 articles. So now you are going to book an order. The work which has to be done is very simple. You go to the order, you click on the order, a little bit like when you do your internet shopping, and you add the order to your basket. You add it to your basket, and look here, in the basket is now 1. However, for the same day, Intermarché has sent you a second order. Be like a complement or something. You can basically say, well, I'm going to deliver those 2 together. So you click on the second order, and you add it to your basket. And now you see the basket is 2. Second step is now we're going to take the case that Mondelez is not doing the transportation itself. It's using a external company to do the delivery. So what they do is that we're going to say, we're going to pass the order onto our transport company, which is basically we're going to pack it. And the pack is, now you're going to inform your carrier of you have to actually go and deliver that for me. Very important. Here, I will show you in the setup, you can do some standard setups that is automated. So the carrier here is not going to be Mondelez, because they're not going to, they are saying it's NetCargo is my carrier. Whoever will show you in the setup, you can set up what we call your standard carrier. Okay, the delivery type is a trailer. The depot, of course, is the depot which you then set up, the depot of Mondelez. It's known in Streamliner, so you don't need to give all the details. And here you need to enter an internal reference, which can be different from the purchase order of Intermarché. It is your way of communicating with your carrier. Could be, for example, your sales order number or whatever number you internally have. You put whatever internal number 1, 2, 3. You confirm the volume. If you've got, of course, if they ordered 15 SKUs, but you got a manco, you say one SKU is not there, you must tell them, no, it's not 15, it's only going to be 40. Again, one volume is one article, because the rule at Intermarché is one article on one pallet. You say it has to be delivered the 20th. Whatever your rule is, you can say, guys, NetCargo, you can come and pick it up the 17th, or you can pick it up the 20th. So whatever your agreement is, assuming that you say you can pick it up the 17th as of 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And now you do pack. Your work is done. This is all you have to do from a supplier point of view. If you receive one order a week, you have to do this. Took us 4 or 5 minutes. Once a week, if you got 2 orders a week, you have to do it twice a week. So this is the only work you can do. And now your carrier can book a slot. So let me do another, because that's nice for a demo. I'm going to do another small rehearsal, but now I'm going to do it this time as Lotus. You see afterwards why I do it the second time. Assuming now I am a user of Lotus. I don't know if Lotus is online. Again, apologies for the employees of Lotus if I'm using your company. So here you see already a difference. This is if you are Lotus and you would be supplying Intermarché, Macro. Those two are not yet customers. Macro is a customer, Intermarché is a customer. So you will see your different customers there. Also meaning that if you are on holiday, if you are responsible for Intermarché, and you got a colleague who's responsible for Macro, when you are on holiday, you can actually replace each other. It is not that if you train your colleague on a new tool, when you go into the Macro, when you go into Intermarché, it's exactly the same way. If you can do the work for Intermarché, you can perfectly back up your colleague when you're on holiday. You don't even have to use his login. You just go into let's say, Streamliner, and you can also manage the macro order. So no need to explain the website of different retailers. It's a standard in the market. Again, you go through the message. The working file, your working file is really Streamliner. You click here, and I notice I see my order. And guess what? I also got an order for the 20th. So it's an order of 15 pallets. I take it, I add it to my basket. So you see the time it's going to take. I click on it, I pack it. Lotus says, okay, I'm going to use Renus as my carrier. It's a trailer. It's fine, no manco. It's my code 12345. You can pick it up the 17th at whatever 1600 pack. Work done. So that is as fast as it goes. Let me now log out. of the system. Because we've now informed NetCargo, go back to the Mondelez, that NetCargo has to book a slot. Because the logic is in Streamliner is you're the supplier, you will invite your carriers, because it's actually the carriers who do book the slots. You can also do it yourself, because what I'm now going to show as a carrier, you can also do yourself. But your carrier can book a slot for all the suppliers he's delivering. And that is, I think, very important, because carriers as NetCargo, they're not coming with only the pallets of Mondelez. They might have 5, 6, 7, 8 suppliers on their truck. They will be able to book a slot for only one slot for all the orders of those suppliers. So that's very important. It also makes their work very easy. So now I'm going to log in as NetCargo, the carrier, who will have automatically received your instruction on saying, I have to do something for my customer, being, in this case, Mondelez. Sorry. So NetCargo also works for different delivery points. We're going to use here Intermarché. He goes also into Streamliner. And here he's got the Mondelez instruction ready. Carrier, of course, again, you see the same code. He says, for this order, this green, I've already booked an appointment. Here, I still have to book an appointment. Very simple. He clicks on it, same logic, adds it to his basket, goes there, this time books, and this is the booking slot. Automatically, Streamliner will tell him the first available slot on the agreed date of delivery. You can see here, he can come on 6 o'clock. If he says, I don't like the 6 o'clock, I want to go at 9, he can choose a different one. Depending on the setting, he can also, see these dates, he can also go, because in this demo, in the real time is different. In the demo, we said that Intermarché also allows delivery 1 day earlier or 1 day late. However, if he wants to deliver on the 22nd, this isn't telling him what you are requesting is too late. So he has to somewhere pick a slot on the 20th or the 21st. He says, I'm going to take 8 o'clock, book a slot. And now this slot is booked. Now comes a very important element. Please take all note. This number, what we call the shipment number, 2204, this is the number the driver has to have with him when he goes to Villers-sur-Tragny. Because in Villers-sur-Tragny, there is a kiosk where, when the driver comes, he has to announce himself. That is the number he has to enter. So please all talk to your transportation companies when you invite them to join Streamliner. And the one important thing is they must tell their drivers that they come with 2204. So that's done. That's the only thing that the transportation companies do. It's literally 1 second. If he would have 5, 6, 7 suppliers, he can all put them together in a basket and click. So it is really almost no work. I know that some of your transportation companies will say, I don't need to do it. Look, it's much easier than sending an email to Villers, or definitely much cheaper than waiting 2 hours on their parking. Just go there, pick the orders, put them, click, book, you're done, and inform your driver of the shipment number.
And just to stress on that, so everybody knows that in Intermarché there is a kiosk for the transporter to announce himself at the reception. It's super important that the transporter is using the Streamline number to write himself in. Otherwise, we cannot see that you have been using Streamliner for your order. So very, very key to take the maximum use of the application, that the transporter is entering the Streamline number in the kiosk at Villers.
Yeah, because it's all interfaced, so we can automatically see it. And now I'm going to do the last step. I'm going to log out, and I'm going to log in as a user of the warehouse of Intermarché. And that's now is really, really very important for you to see. Is the following. Good. Streamliner also has very important communication capabilities. So it's not only stock booking, it is stock booking. It is, of course, a stock booking tool. But the key difference is that actually it adds a communication capability on the different orders. So let me first take the order stage. I'm here on the order stage. I'm now a user of Intermarché, and I'm looking at my famous order of Mondelez. Here you see my order of Mondelez, and here you see my order of Lotus. Assuming now I'm at Intermarché, I'm looking, oh, you have to deliver on the 20th, you've booked a slot. I can click on the order, and look here, I can chat directly with you. As Intermarché, I can say, please add the whatever promo, the promo materials to this order. Automatically, now the customer service person of Lotus, which is actually on Streamliner, will get a notification, which is like a little message in your email saying, ping, Intermarché has asked you a question on order number demo 3, and you can actually reply. Also very important for you, if you receive an order from Intermarché and they are doing something which is, I don't know, you have a manco, or they're ordering a wrong code, or whatever, use this channel to communicate directly, because it will directly arrive at the right person in Intermarché. So you're not sending an email to somebody. Now, by here, you are informing immediately the right persons, because both the warehouse is using this tool, but also the ordering department of Intermarché is on Streamliner. So you can really communicate around orders using Streamliner. And we all know that emailing to retailers, you never know, is that person still managing that category? Is he on holiday, whatever? Here, on the object of the order, you can use this communication layer. So this is on an order. Here in this communication is a communication between you and Intermarché. Nobody else, on the order. Now we are in the shipments, which is actually the delivery. Now the beauty of the system is also, I'm going to look for my famous delivery 2204. Here, that's the number. When I click on the 2204, I know it is Mondelez. I know it is these two purchase orders. And assume now the truck is there. When the driver goes to the kiosk at Villers and he announces itself, automatically, ping, we record the time. So there's no more these interesting discussions between you and your carrier on saying, I've been waiting for 3 hours at Villers. This is the only truth. The truth which he sees in Streamliner, which you see in Streamliner, which Villers sees. So everybody's got the same truth. He cannot say that I was there waiting 4 hours when you just booked in at 10:30. And you can basically say, well, you booked in at 10:30, but you got a slot at 8 o'clock. Okay, the days are not the same. Of course, if you're late, yeah, Villers will take you as soon as they've got a free slot. The guarantee is that if you arrive at the moment needed, you will actually get. Very important to note, the arrival with the transportation company sees it's 8 o'clock. The slot is 8 to 9 on saying within 9 you should be out, but the definition what the transport company sees, they only see 8 o'clock. So it is, you have to be there at 8, latest. Because it takes time to park your truck, and you have to be booked in, and so that's very important. The start hour is the hour everybody knows. So 2 things, this is a number, 2204, make sure the driver has this number when he arrives. So he's now arrived, opened the barrier, and then he's docked. And then something very interesting happens is that we are unloading. Now Intermarché unloads, and they can actually, again, communicate with you, but now it's a communication between you, the carrier, and Intermarché. So it's a triangular, because now there are 3 parties involved. So here, whenever you can communicate also with your carrier and with Intermarché around a shipment. But the beauty is, there are also what we call also standard incidents. In the demo, there's still, let's say, the demo one, but there are also going to be incidents where, for example, you can say in the immediate, For example, there's a damage. There's a damage, click. As soon as Intermarché clicks on a damage, you will be informed during the reception that there's a damage. And I think that's the big time gain you will have, is that when you get this type of message, it's instant, ping, so it means that they are now receiving your goods. They can add documents, they can add a picture, they can add a whatever. So here you can, for example, if they go and they, now in real time it's going to be a little bit different than the demo, but okay, let me just quickly take an example. Voila, assume I got a picture. Oh, they can actually upload a picture and you see the picture immediately. So you will also be able to get a message on saying, watch out, there's a picture. Ooh, this is the truck. So it's important. And here in the chat function, they can actually say, we will refuse pallets number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can immediately reply. If your friend will say, can you please take a picture of the pallet label or whatever? So it's important that by the time the truck has left the warehouse, all the elements to create the credit note are already there. You don't need to start calling each other. You know it's all there. So that's the beauty of the system. Unloaded, docked, out, meaning the truck has left the warehouse. The latest stage is gate free. It is meaning that they are still putting the pallets into the racks, and then it is done. In the order, when everything is closed, you will actually see that the last step, where's my 22, where's my famous order? See, the last step remains red. The last step only becomes green when it is fully received in the ERP system of Intermarché. So it's also very important for you to follow up that. If you see orders which remain red in your system because you see exactly the same Intermarché, it means that there's something not fully closed. You can ask your counterpart in Intermarché, because if it's not fully closed, you know that X weeks down the line, you're going to be waiting for your money. So it's a way to actually follow everything up. Once it's fully received in the information system of Intermarché, it goes to fully green, and then you basically can say it is totally closed. So it also allows you to track all your deliveries, because you might think it's all fully handled. My truck came back with a signed CMR. If the fourth marker is not green, you're not going to get paid. So it's a way to actually track, and then you can again chat with the order, and you can go in and you can basically say you can then ask why is it not green, etc. That's the process. So from order, you inform your carrier books a slot, and you can follow the shipment, and then it's closed. That's step one. And now we're going to go to the one-time setup. So this is what you're typically going to be working on. It's a communication channel. It gives you a real-time view of what's happening. No more discussion between your carriers on saying, I'm waiting, I'm not waiting. Everybody sees the same view. The carrier sees it, you see it, and Intermarché sees it. Important to note, make sure that the driver has the shipment number, our famous 2204, with him when he drives to Villers-sur-Trazegnies. That's very important. Any question at this stage before I go to the one-time setup procedure? Okay, let me then now go to the invitation. So what is going to happen is that you will all, or you have all been invited by Intermarché to join Streamliner. What does it mean? It means that you have to create an account, a company account, is very important. It's a company account on Streamliner. The beauty of Streamliner is this company account, you create only one. So it's not linked to a user. It is linked to your company, and you yourself, your company yourself, you can add as many users as you want. But you're also responsible to keep those users up to date, meaning when somebody changes job, you must invite the new user. to the company. So you are managing your own company. Now, the beauty of the system is also that you don't need to create this company for different retailers. If you are already with Macro, you've got your company, you are just accepting the invitation of Intermarché, you don't need to create a new company. If tomorrow a third, fourth retailer are joining on Streamliner, you don't need to create a new company. You are just going to accept this invitation, but all your users are known and trained, so it actually avoids this company-specific portal. This is going to be a market standard portal and stock booking tool. But now I'm going to go to Intermarché and I'm going to invite a new supplier. So what does Intermarché do? They go to companies, and in companies, they see all their suppliers. Now you're going to be a little bit surprised. Once you log into Streamliner, you will actually see all your colleague suppliers. You will see them. You say like, shit, I know. You will be able to see all the suppliers of Intermarché, and even more, you will be able to see all the carriers, because you see sometimes people are a supplier, but you can also see all the carriers. These are all the transport companies who are already delivering to Villers and Trasny. So why are we sharing that? Why is Intermarché sharing that information? We're sharing that information that if you are a small company and you're not delivering full trucks to Villers, and you're located maybe in Ypres or in Nancy or wherever in the north of Holland, what you can do with Streamliner is you click on locations. And what we will show you is we will show you on a map all the locations of the suppliers who deliver today to Intermarché. So if you are a supplier and you deliver 5 pallets out of Orléans every week, hey guys, up to you to basically click on this and say, okay, this is who's this, Interbase Antarctique. Maybe I should contact that person, because you will find the email address on Streamliner. You can contact him. Or if your transport company is really very lousy, you might want to have a look at the other carriers already delivering that. So it's information which we share with you. No obligation, it's just available for you to do. But let's now invite a supplier. How is Intermarché going to invite suppliers? In 2 ways. First easy way is they're going to be looking at, is the supplier already existing? So I'm going to say, hey, look, I'm looking for Balzen, for example. And what happens is that Balzen is not yet a supplier on Streamliner for Intermarché, but Balzen is already on Streamliner for some other retailer. In that case, easy invitation, done. Everything is done. Balzen will get a little notification on saying, hey guys, you know Streamliner? There's a new company on Streamliner who also would like to use Streamliner for slot booking at their site. So that's for, and of course for Balzen, they're all fully on board. Step 1. A new invitation is a totally new supplier. So let's take, I'm staying in the biscuits, Jules, there's no Jules de Stroper. So in this case, they're going to use the email address which they've asked you in the email. They're going to say, we're going to contact, I'm not going to use a dummy address. So we're going to use a dummy address, Jules de Stroper. So this is what Intermarché has done. When I click on, we're then going to basically be playing what you have to do to set up your company once. So there is an email sent out to demo@julestroper.com. Voila. You set the ping. So now I'm going to go to the case and I'm going to show you what you have to do for Jules Stroper. So here we are. Voila. You see here Balzen, and you see here Jules Stroper. In the case of Balzen, it's very simple. Balzen is already on Streamliner. He will get this type of email. He clicks on the blue button, brings him to Streamliner, and He will just say, okay, I'm invited, and now he accepted the invitation of Streamliner. He's now a Intermarché, he's now on the Intermarché. So very simple, very easy to do. But of course, he was already on Streamliner. Let me now go to the second example. It's Jules de Stroper. So Jules de Stroper is a new, like you all are, a new supplier on Streamliner, and he has to go through a few steps. So first step when you click on the email is you will have to create your company. So we're going to call this company Jules de Stroper. I'm using this email, no problem. I can call it Jules. Okay, give your name, Jules from Jules Stroper, and then you use the email address and a password. This is, of course, your private password, whatever you use. Done. Step one. Then the second, which Streamliner will ask, is your VAT number. Why do we ask the VAT number? We see that sometimes in very big companies, different departments are invited by customers to join Streamliner, and they don't know from each other that they're on Streamliner. So this is a verification. If somebody else in your company has already created with this VAT number an account, the Streamliner will tell you, sorry, this company exists already. And then it will, so you have to then basically find out who is actually your company owner, and then he has to invite you as a user on Streamliner. You don't need to create a second Streamliner account. That's very important. If you already have created an account for Macro, and it's a different colleague which you might not know, don't create a second company. Go to your Streamliner account and create a second user. I will show you how to do it. But that's the check.
In the meantime, Chris, I see that Ridwan has a question. Maybe if we can handle that one first.
Yes, tell me.
Yes, I just have a little question. When you are using sending an email on the Streamliner interface, may we use the email address of the person that we have in contact with the transport company, for instance, if we know already this person?
I will show you how to invite your transportation company.
Okay.
So it's a different role. You have a role on Streamliner, and your transportation company has a role. So it's a two-step invitation.
Okay.
Okay, I'll come back to that in a minute. So
thank you.
You create your company. We do a little validation with the VIS database in the background on saying, is this VAT number correct? Okay, there's something wrong. Okay, so if the VIS database is not working, which sometimes, because it sometimes happens, you just basically go on and you type it yourself. It's yeah. There is this service of the government, but okay, let me just go then type it in. If it works, it's nice because then the address automatically comes in there. If not, you can just always type it in yourself. Not to make, so don't be blocked by that. Yeah, and it is in Belgium. Yeah. Oh, so now I've created my company. Here you have to agree. It is very important note. It is for free for you and your carrier. The customer of Streamliner is Intermarché, and Intermarché gives the slot booking available for free, and you don't need to pay. It is fully free for the suppliers and for the carriers. So these are just the classical agreements you have to make with any website, privacy. Now you are set. You will receive what we call a confirmation email. I'll close this now. in the email, there will be a confirmation email. There will be 2 confirmation emails. The first confirmation email is actually to activate your account. This is a check we do to make sure that the email address which is used is really your email address. So it's a kind of typical verification, you see. So you click on it and you can activate your account. Voila. And then you can sign in. And you sign in with your email address. Again, important. It is case sensitive. So to make sure that you remember, did I use capital letters? Did I use small letters? I know that sometimes people call in and saying I can no longer log in. If you forget your password, there is here a button which is called reset password. The classical things you will find. Make sure always that there are multiple people having a login, because otherwise if you're on holiday, if you're away, the company is blocked. And here you will see the invitation. You're invited as a supplier. You click, you accept, and now you are fully on Streamliner. And now there are still 3 steps to take. First step is invite colleagues. And I would say invite at least 1 other colleague, so that there are 2 people in your company who can actually use Streamliner. How do you do that? You go to add, you go to user, you type his name, you type his email address. Here there are 3 levels of users. Actually, there are 4 levels of users. There is the user who can actually only use Streamliner. The administrator can add other users. The company owner can actually change, but that's more for if you're using operationally, can change working hours of warehouses and can add warehouse and other things. And then the primary owner is the first email address of the person. Once you're in Streamliner, you can find on the support page how to change primary owner administrator. I would say at least invite a second administrator or company owner, because if the first one goes away, you can still go on. We had cases where companies called us and saying our primary owner has left the company and we don't know the password. It's annoying. It can be reset, but it's annoying. So please invite at least a second user. We'll make a little sidestep. Here you see a little button support. Support is a website with all little procedures. We got our support center, and here you come to a separate website where you can ask questions. Like, for example, add a user. You will find little procedures on how to add a user. Disable a user if somebody leaves the company. So typically you type in here a question and we basically help you. What you can also do, if you don't find your question, there is a live chat. And then you can ask your question in the live chat. This is the support available on the tool. There's, of course, the users of Intermarché are also trained. So I always also say you can always contact your, let's say, people in Intermarché. But these functions are in there. So at least invite a second user. It's unlimited. You can invite as much users as you want. The second mandatory step, otherwise Streamliner will not work, is you need to add at least 1 location. And the 1 location is the place from where the goods are shipped. Can be your factory, can be a warehouse. So I'm now going to create, in this case, the bakery. The bakery, in this case, it's factory. It's from Jules de Stroper, and it is located in the Zwaanhofweg 20 in 8,900 Yper. Now, very important to note, here you see a little button called Enable Yard Management. This has to be clicked on, because this is actually saying from that location you can ship goods. Note that in the background, what we do, and that's more for data quality, we will actually check all the locations versus Google Maps. So if the writing, the way you write the address, if it's not accepted, it's because it's not written as it exists on Google Maps. Then what you do is you go to Google Maps, you type the way, because sometimes people like street and then sometimes people like st dot or str dot. No, we are saying we force you to use the Google Maps writing is to avoid that the same locations are written in a way that it's actually not known. It's actually for a data quality point of view. You add the location. So now you created a company account, you've added users, you've added one location. As you illustrated, the last step now is you can add your own carrier. And that is actually the transport company. If you say, I'm not going to book the slots myself, I'm going to use a transport company to book the slots for me, then you actually go and you invite your transport company. And there is very important, as already we've got like 100 transport companies on Streamliner, there's a high probability that your transport company already exists. I'm going to take the case. So before entering the email address of your transport company, type his company name. I'm going to take the example, assuming that the company is called, you're using NetCargo. Guess what? NetCargo is already there. There is a little check, is that we always put the VAT numbers next to it. Because, for example, you might be working with DHL Germany because your factory is in Germany. We might have DHL, but with a Belgian VAT number on there. That might be different contact persons. In that case, you might want to invite DHL Germany as a second transportation company. So it's a little bit a discussion you might have, especially if you're using like big companies like Kuehne + Nagel or DHL. It might not be all the same thing. So that's why we always put the VAT number and the address of the company who's already on Streamliner. If you find NetCargo, you click OK. Basically take him, and he will get automatically a notification saying Mondelez has invited me as a carrier. And then you are fully set. So create your company, add users, create at least one location and enable yard management. Then you enter into the Intermarché community and you invite one carrier. It's important to note that the carriers are by location. So it could be that you use a carrier to deliver to Macro and a different carrier to deliver to Intermarché. You have to actually re-invite them. We got 5 minutes left. I'm just going to do one last thing which I want to show you. And that is on your own company, you can do some standard settings. It is going to help you when you actually communicate with your carrier. You can basically say, my default pallet type is, for example, Europallets or not. Then you don't have to click that field again when you book a slot. Your default truck is, for example, a trailer. And it's very important, my default carrier, okay, I haven't selected the carrier yet. If NetCargo would have invited my invitation, you can actually set NetCargo as your default carrier. So that's just going to make the daily use of Streamliner a little bit easier. And then the last step, which you really should look at, is what we call the automatic notifications. So you go to members, you look for yourself, that's you, you click on it, and here you see all the messages that Streamliner can send automatically to you. Take your time to go through them. If you leave them all on, you're going to be saying like, this thing is bombarding my email address. So what you do is I would really say the minimal setting I would put as a supplier is to say, I received an order. Intermarché has put a comment on the order. That's what you really want to know. And on the shipments, what I would say is that Intermarché has put a comment on the shipment, has added an issue to the shipment, and my shipment has been deleted, meaning that it's refused. This is the setting I would put as a minimal for you to work with Streamliner. Because then what's going to happen is it's going to inform you got a new order, you can pack it and send it to the transportation. If Intermarché asks a question, you will be informed, and then on your shipment, if something goes wrong, you will be informed. And then actually you can really work, you can use Streamliner for the maximum. If you want more, you can always actually do more. We're done, our hour is over. if there are still some small questions, again, this will be recorded. It will be put on there. Again, the link is going to be there. If you don't know, look through it. Use the support function by asking a question in the support center. And if you're really stuck, use the live chat or talk to the Intermarché people to help you further. Olivier. Back.
Thank you, Chris, for the very clear explanation. Now, I mean, as Chris said, are there any questions? We still have a couple of minutes left. So if people have questions, please, now is the moment. I see in the chat, Chris, there's a question from Bram. What is the procedure for X-Work? Okay, that's X-Work setup, meaning ITM picks up the goods themselves.
Okay, in that case, you are going to invite as a carrier in Streamliner a company called EIT. So how does this work? You are in Streamliner now as Jules de Stroper. You go to companies. You're going to invite a carrier and you type EIT. EIT Belgium Intermarché. And that is your carrier. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing as everybody. You receive your order and you're going to pack it and use as carrier EIT, and then EIT will get instruction and will, as a normal carrier, arrange the pickup.
So, in other words, EIT Belgium is the transport of Intermarché.
Indeed. Voilà. And that's the carrier you have to invite. It's very important. You have to invite a carrier and you have to do like any other company. When you receive an order, you pack it and you inform EIT that they have to come and pick up. And in that message, you can actually inform them EIT of the volume, and you can inform EIT of the what we call the pickup location. Because if you got multiple locations, very important. If you got multiple locations, you can create in Streamliner all those locations, and then you can inform EIT and saying you can pick it up on that day, that hour, in that location, and that's the volume.
Another question is, we get it in EDI, the order. Is this system dropping when you go over to this system? To my opinion, it's not. No.
Very, very clear. EDI is the detail of the order, meaning so many bottles of this, so many boxes of that. We don't have that. This is for managing the delivery, picking up a slot, and communicating around the delivery with. It's not a detailed EDI order. EDI orders will stay. They have the detailed content of that order.
Any other questions before we close the call?
It's going to take you, look, it's going to take you half an hour to get through it, create a user, create a location, invite a carrier. Once you got that in your mind, then you're set up. And then the key element is, as soon as I receive an order, I pack it, I inform my carrier. That's the work we have to do. So it's might look intimidating, but it is, as Philip in the introduction told you, once you're away with it, you will see the great advantage, because you got this chat function on everything.
Maybe a last one before we close the call from Anne, Chris. I think it's a valid one. Can we pack it? Can we skip the packet step and have the transporter sending the info automatically from the supplier?
There are two possibilities, and you will see that's going to evolve over time. At this stage, at this stage, there are two ways to work. You can always invite in your company, Jules de Stroper. You can invite a user with any email address. So you can decide that your transportation company has a user in your company, and he does for you what he has to do. Meaning, he can either, if it's a full truck, he can book directly out of your name a delivery. Or if he wants to combine it with different loads, he can actually pack it, and then in his company, he can book a slot. We're working on a new development, which is going to be available April next year, where you can do all those steps and predefine them. So you can, what we call automate the packing. It's going to be available as of April next year. So then you can set a standard carrier And then whenever you receive an order, it automatically creates the package for the carrier. You'll have to wait a little bit for that. That's going to come in the coming weeks. But now the backup solution is create a user in your company of your transport company, and then he can do the packing for you. But that will change over time.
Thank you, Chris. Well, with this note, I want to thank everybody for the time. What we will do as a next step, we will put this webinar on YouTube. You will receive the link in the next coming days. And I would suggest that you share this link with your colleagues that will have to work with the application. I believe it's self-explanatory. Would there be any other remaining questions? Please check the support webpage, and if you can't find any answer on that question, you can always contact either Chris or me, and we'll be happy to support and assist you in helping you to onboard on Streamliner. So having that said, maybe one last question from Ridwan. Go ahead, Ridwan.
Yes, I just have a little question to end it. So normally we will receive from Intermarché now an invitation in the coming days for Streamliner.
Yes. What sometimes happens is what we always say. Sometimes check if you haven't received it, check your spam, because some of your IT departments are very good at putting unknown email addresses in spam. So before you panic on saying, I haven't found the invitation, check your spam. It comes from info@streamliner.cloud. What's always good is to maybe talk to your IT department already now on saying, guys, make sure that emails from info@streamliner.cloud are not seen as spam, and then they can already proactively approve that email address, because I know that some say that any email coming from info is seen as spam. So we know that some IT departments are very good at that.
Voila, I really want to answer your question. The invitation has already been sent to Bolton to the order@boltonbelgium.be mail address.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. We will close the call now, and I wish everybody a pleasant continuation of the day and a very good weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck.
You.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.